Maura never planned to pick up anything from the ground that morning. She was only trying to get to school before the bell rang, her old backpack bouncing against her shoulder and her stomach growling because she hadn't eaten breakfast again. But everything changed the moment she stepped into the narrow alley behind the shops. At first, she thought the shiny black leather object lying near the trash cans was just someone's old phone case. But when the sunlight touched it, it gleamed, clean, expensive, almost out of place in her whole world. A wallet. Maura froze. Something inside her whispered, "Don't touch it." Another voice inside said, "This could be your only chance." She looked around. No one. The street was too quiet, almost waiting. Maura knelt down slowly, her fingers shaking as she picked up the wallet. It was warm, strangely warm, as if someone had dropped it just seconds ago. When she opened it, her mouth fell open. Money. Lots of it. So much that she couldn't even count it at once. And then, a black card. Smooth. Heavy. It had only one name on it. Adrian Cole. Maura's heart thumped. She had heard that name before. Everyone in the city knew it. Adrian Cole, the youngest billionaire in the country. Owner of coal industries. The man whose face was always on the news, whose companies built tall glass buildings that touched the sky. She swallowed hard. Why was his wallet here? In this dirty alley. Near her poor neighborhood. Something didn't feel right. She slipped the wallet into her backpack just as she heard footsteps. Loud. Fast. Coming toward the alley entrance. Maura hid behind a stack of wooden boxes. Two men in black suits rushed in, their faces tense, eyes scanning everywhere. Search the ground, one of them barked. It can't be far. Maura's blood went cold. Were they looking for the wallet? Why were they so desperate? One of the men kicked a trash can, cursing. If we don't find it, the boss will. Shoo, the other snapped. Just look. Maura covered her mouth, holding her breath. The wallet felt like it was burning inside her backpack, as if it knew this moment was dangerous, as if it was a secret trying to escape. After minutes that felt like hours, the men left the alley, still arguing. Maura waited until the street was silent again before she stood up. Her legs were shaking. She almost dropped her backpack. Why didn't she just leave it there? She could have pretended she never saw anything. But something deep inside, something she couldn't explain, told her the wallet came to her for a reason. She walked quickly, her eyes darting around as she headed toward school. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow made her think the men were following her. At school, she sat in the back of the classroom, barely listening. Her mind kept replaying the moment she opened the wallet. The name. The money. The men searching. The strange warmth. During lunch, she finally pulled it out again. There was a folded photograph inside. A picture of a little girl. Not a rich girl. Not a fancy picture. Just a child smiling at the camera, missing one front tooth. Behind her was a small playground that looked old and forgotten. Maura frowned. Who was she? Why keep only one photo in a billionaire's wallet? And why did Maura feel like she had seen the girl somewhere before? Suddenly the school gate creaked. Maura looked up. A long, black car stopped right in front of it. The kind she'd only seen in movies. A tall man stepped out, wearing all black. Her blood froze. He wasn't one of the men from the alley. This one looked more powerful, more controlled, more dangerous in a quiet way. He didn't shout. He didn't look around wildly. He just scanned the schoolyard with sharp eyes that seemed to see everything. Then, he lifted his phone. Checked something. Looked straight in her direction. Maura's heart slammed against her ribs. He's looking for me. He knows. She shoved the wallet back into her bag. Her life had been simple before this moment. Hard, yes. Poor, yes. But simple. Now everything in her world felt like it was tilting, shifting, unlocking something she didn't understand. And deep down, Mora knew. Nothing would ever be the same again. Mora didn't breathe. She couldn't. The tall man in black stood at the school gate like a shadow waiting for its owner. His eyes swept across the yard, sharp as knives. Even though dozens of students were walking around, laughing, shouting, living their normal lives, he only seemed to see her. Mora quickly dropped her gaze and clutched her backpack, the weight of the billionaire's wallet pressing against her spine like a secret screaming to be found. Act normal, she told herself. Just act normal. But how could she? Nothing about today was normal. She took a deep breath and started walking away from the lunch tables. Her legs felt like rubber. She didn't want to run, running would only make things worse, but her heart was rushing faster than her feet. She reached the school hallway and ducked inside. The noise of students echoed off the walls, but it didn't calm her. She checked behind her. The man was moving. Slowly. Confidently. Almost like he already knew where she was going. Mora slipped into an empty classroom and closed the door quietly. Her hands shook as she pressed her back against the wall. Why was he here? Why was Adrian Cole's wallet so important? Why were grown men searching for it like it contained something dangerous? Another thought hit her. Maybe it did. She pulled the wallet out again. The black card. The money. The single photo of the little girl. The smiling girl with the missing front tooth. Mora frowned. She tried to dig through her memory. Something about that child felt familiar, but she couldn't place it. Her stomach twisted. A voice suddenly spoke behind her. You shouldn't be holding that. Mora spun around so fast she almost dropped the wallet. The man from the gate was standing inside the classroom. She hadn't even heard the door open. He wasn't angry. He wasn't shouting. That made it even scarier. His calm voice felt like something cold sliding across her skin. I found it, Mora stammered. I was going to return it. I didn't steal anything. He took a slow step toward her. Not too close. But close enough that she felt trapped. I know, he said. Mora blinked. You know. He nodded. Because if you wanted to steal from a billionaire, you wouldn't be standing here shaking. Mora swallowed hard. Her eyes flicked to the door. Don't run, he said gently. I'm not here to hurt you. That didn't comfort her. People who were dangerous rarely said they were. Who are you? She whispered. He reached into his coat and pulled out an ID card. Ethan Ward. Head of Security, Coal Industries. Her body froze. This wasn't just some random guard. This was a top-level security chief, the kind who handled billionaires' secrets. He extended his hand. The wallet. Mora hugged her backpack tighter. First tell me something. Ethan raised an eyebrow. What? She pointed at the photo inside. Who is the little girl? For a moment, the very small moment, Ethan's face changed. It tightened. Like the question hit a place he didn't want touched. That, he said quietly, is why I need the wallet. Mora's blood ran cold. Before she could reply, loud voices echoed through the hallway. Check the classrooms. She has to be here. The two men from the alley. Ethan's eyes widened with real anger. They followed me. Already. He grabbed Mora's arm, not hurting her, but firm. We need to go. Now. Why? Who are they? Mora asked, breathless. People who should never get their hands on that wallet. The classroom door suddenly rattled as someone tried to open it. Mora gasped. Ethan moved fast, pushing a table against the door just as it flew open an inch. "Move," one of the men shouted from outside. "The girl is in there." Her heart hammered so hard she thought it would explode. Ethan turned to her, voice sharp but sincere. "Listen, Mora. You're in danger because you picked up something that belongs to someone very important. Someone who's missing." Missing," she whispered. "Yes. And if those men get that wallet, they'll make sure no one ever finds him." The door slammed again. Harder. Wood splintered. Ethan grabbed the wallet, stuffed it into his coat, and looked her straight in the eyes. "Trust me," he said. "This is bigger than you think." The door cracked. A hand burst through, reaching. Ethan kicked it back, yanked Mora toward the window, and said, "Run when I tell you." She nodded, terrified but ready. Together, they pushed the window open as the door finally crashed behind them. Mora climbed out first into the sunlight. Ethan followed, landing beside her. "Go," he ordered. And they ran. Not knowing where they were going. Only knowing that whatever they were running from was only the beginning.